Why do we have fingerprints? Fingerprints serve several functions, but the two main reasons are improved grip and dexterity. The ridged patterns on our fingertips, also known as friction ridges, help enhance our sense of touch and make it easier to grasp objects. These ridges create additional friction, allowing us to hold on to things more securely, such as picking up small items or gripping smooth surfaces. This helps with tasks like writing, typing, or climbing. Unique identification. Fingerprints are unique to each individual, even among identical twins. During fetal development, the fingerprint patterns are formed by random factors like the position in the womb, pressure, and the movement of the fetus. As a result, no two people have the exact same fingerprint patterns, making them an effective form of personal identification for law enforcement and security. How are fingerprints recognized in fingerprint authentication? Fingerprint recognition in security systems works by analyzing the unique features of a fingerprint and comparing them to pre-stored data. Here's how it works in detail. First, there's scanning. The first step is capturing the image of the fingerprint using a fingerprint scanner. There are various types of fingerprint scanners, such as optical scanners, which capture a visual image of the fingerprint using light, capacitive scanners, which use electrical signals to detect the ridges of the fingerprint, and ultrasonic scanners, which use sound waves to create a three-dimensional image of the fingerprint. Next, we have feature extraction. Once the fingerprint image is captured, the system processes it to extract distinctive features such as minutia points, which are the key points in the fingerprint where ridges end or bifurcate, split into two. Ridge patterns, which are the overall patterns of ridges on the finger, such as loops, whorls, and arches. And ridge direction and spacing, which is the way the ridges curve and their distance apart. This data is then used to create a template that represents the fingerprint's unique characteristics. The template is not an image of the fingerprint, but a set of numbers or data points that describe the ridges and features. Then comes template matching. When you try to authenticate, for example, by placing your finger on a scanner, the system compares the scanned fingerprint to the stored fingerprint template. The system uses algorithms to match the minutia points, ridge patterns, and other unique features. If the system finds a match, meaning the scanned features are similar enough to the stored data, it grants access or verifies your identity. Finally, there's the threshold for matching. Depending on the system, a certain number of matching points or minutia must be found for the authentication to be successful. If the number of matched points is below the threshold, access may be denied. How does fingerprint biometric work? Fingerprint biometric systems use the detailed features of fingerprints to identify or verify a person's identity. The process can be broken down into several stages. First, capture the fingerprint. Optical scanners use light to capture an image of the fingerprint. The image is usually in black and white, with ridges appearing as dark lines and valleys as light areas. Capacitive scanners detect the electrical charges that occur when a finger is placed on a sensor. The ridges and valleys of the fingerprint create different electrical charges, and this is used to generate an image. Ultrasonic scanners use sound waves to create a three-dimensional map of the fingerprint, detecting the contours of the ridges and valleys, and are often used for more detailed recognition. Next, there's pre-processing. The captured fingerprint image is usually a raw, noisy image. This step involves enhancing the quality of the image by filtering out noise and improving contrast to highlight the ridges and valleys. This makes it easier to extract the important features. Then, feature extraction. The system identifies unique characteristics such as ridge endings, where a ridge ends abruptly, bifurcations, where a ridge splits into two, and core and delta points, which are the central point core, and triangular areas, delta, of the fingerprint. The features are then converted into a set of data points, forming a fingerprint template. After that, template storage. The fingerprint template is stored in a database or a secure location on a device, not as an image but as data. This allows for faster and more efficient matching and is more secure than storing an actual image. Then comes matching the fingerprint. When the user tries to authenticate by placing their finger on the scanner, the system captures the fingerprint and generates a template. The newly generated template is compared with the stored template. If the features match, for example, ridge endings, bifurcations, and other unique patterns align, the fingerprint is recognized and the person is authenticated. Finally, security and accuracy. Fingerprint biometric systems have varying levels of security. To ensure accuracy, modern systems may use liveness detection to confirm that the fingerprint comes from a real person and not a fake or altered fingerprint. Some systems also combine fingerprint recognition with other methods, like facial recognition or PIN codes, for multi-factor authentication. Types of fingerprint biometrics. Technology. First, optical scanning. This uses light to capture the fingerprint pattern. It's common in older systems or lower-end devices, but it can be less secure due to the possibility of spoofing, like using printed fake fingerprints. Next, capacitive scanning. This uses electrical currents to detect the ridges and valleys of the fingerprint. It's more secure and accurate than optical scanners and is commonly found in smartphones. Then, ultrasonic scanning. This uses sound waves to map the fingerprint in 3 dimensions. It provides a high level of detail, is harder to spoof, and is often used in high-security applications. Finally, thermal scanning. This detects the heat pattern from the finger skin. It's not as common, but it can be used in some specialized biometric systems. Conclusion: fingerprint biometrics rely on the uniqueness of your fingerprint patterns to provide a secure and reliable form of identification. Through scanning, feature extraction, and template comparison, these systems can accurately verify or authenticate a person based on their fingerprint data. The process is widely used for security purposes, from unlocking smartphones to gaining access to secure buildings.